So Shay, problem solving sounds great. Really good. Sounds like there's really good benefits, but how do I do it? Well, this is a really good question that I got asked after I posted the video last week on problem solving, why I believe it's something everybody should do, right? And it's a really good question. So today I just want to give a quick overview of the different steps involved. I'm not going to go into the actual mechanisms of actually solving a problem, but I want to talk about the overarching process about how you would implement it in your business. And I will do another video on the actual how to problem solve. But there is a number of different elements to this problem solving process, because first of all, you need to know your issues, right? So it starts with gathering your issues, and anything that stops you from getting to A to B, from start to finish, getting to your customer quicker, is an issue. Now, you tell me when I ask this question, is that, well, I don't have that many issues, and I say, yes, you do. You just don't classify it as an issue. Anything that stops you, no matter how small, no matter how big, you write it down, because here's the thing, it's the small things that happen a little often, are the ones that cause you the biggest issues, and people don't realize it because it stays under the radar. Okay, so we want to gather every issue, and by doing this, when you get everybody to do this, every day there's an issue, every day of the week, every week of the month, by the end of the month you have this amazing data of all these issues that you've happened during the course of the month, right? So the next stage then is, well, we want to package these, we want to bucket these into different categories. And you'll only do that once you get a specific amount of data. So usually a week or 2 weeks in, you can actually start building this view. But you want to build those buckets, because by the time you get to the end of the month and you have these buckets, then you will see which are the big buckets that are causing you the biggest issues, and they're the ones you need to focus your time on, because there's no point in focusing time on the stuff that happens once in a blue moon. You want to see the ones that happen frequently, all the time, and take a little bit of time often, and there you want to view on. And we call this the Pareto rule. Focus on the 20% of issues that give you 80% of your problems. And it's not an exact science, but that's exactly how it works. And by gathering the issues, you'll be able to see in that Pareto chart, biggest issue number 1, biggest issue number 2, and biggest issues number 3. And usually you don't want to go more than 3. So once you've done this process, then you agree at a month 1, we're going to start solving these top 3 issues. So how do you build this up? Well, you do this at a meeting. You set up once a month meetings, so you actually talk about problem solving, issue gathering, and problem solving. And that's once a month. It's a formal meeting. So once you agree at the first month, well, we're going to need 3 problems solved, then you need people to solve these problems. So you have to decide who are the best stakeholders that you need to get to solve these problems, right? And then you get them, and they may need to build a team depending on how big or small the problem is, but that is their accountability for that month, to ensure they focus on it. Now, they may not get the full problem solved in that month, but at least there'll be a plan in place. So as the month goes on and you come to the end, and you're still gathering all the other issues during that month too, you come to the next formal problem solving meeting, right? So the first half of the meeting then talks about, well, these are the 3 problems we committed to doing last month. How are we getting on with them? Do you need help? Do we need to escalate? What do we need to do to get them over the line? So you can see that there's a roadmap or a plan in place to do that, and that's great. You keep working on them until they're finished. So you may not see the benefits in month 1. It could take 2 or 3 months to see the improvements. But then once you've focused on those 3, you've done what you need to do in that meeting, the second part of the meeting is all about, well, what are our next biggest issues, the next 3 or so, the next 20% of issues that we need to focus on the month coming down the road. And you keep this going month on month, and eventually once you start seeing the problems, solutions being implemented, you will start seeing the benefits. So over the course of the year, problems that were this high are now only this high, and then the next month they're that high and that high. So the course of the year, the accumulation of all these issues being eradicated from your process, and it doesn't matter what team. It could be the customer service, it could be logistics, it could be operations, it could be sales, it could be every team. Any team can benefit from this process. Once you start seeing little by little over the course of a year, the accumulation of all those improvements is substantial, and that's what makes it such a powerful tool. Now, where do I always start with this? I always start with sales teams and operations, and along with the sales, I extend that into the customer service side of things, the after sales, the customer experience, because they're the touch points you have with your customers. And obviously, anything you do in operations that you can improve the efficiency, so you can improve the quality, reduce the lead times, improve the service delivery, that all impacts customer service too. So that's why I always say sales and operations are a really good place to start. And you do that every month, and as you see the improvements, then you can start to say, well, let's look at our marketing team, let's look at our finance team, let's look at all the other support functions within your business to make improvements on. And that's exactly how you do it. It's a very simple macro view process, and it doesn't take much time or effort. But when you get everybody on the team to gather those issues, then you start seeing the patterns and you bucket them into those patterns, and then you will see, where do I need to focus our time to get the best results when it comes to problem solving. I hope this makes sense, and I hope you start thinking about implementing a strategy like this. And what I will do in the next video is actually then go into the different mechanisms you can use to problem solve depending on the size of the problem, because you don't want to do all these formal stuff if it's not a big problem. You want to make sure the methodology suits the type of problem you're trying to solve. Hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please get in touch. In the meantime, this is Shailene saying, have a great day.